Cracking peeps, T-Money up in the Wheezy to do a Body Bags review. The week is 221. The movie that I chose to review is an anthology film from 1986, the year I was born. Goes by the title of Deadtime Stories. Now, this was recently released from Scream Factory. Prior to that, it had a release from a no-name, kind of like a DVD-R company by the name of Synergy. It was a crap release, but if you wanted to watch the film, that was basically the only way you could. But thank you for Scream Factory. If you're a fan of the film, we have a nice little DVD of it. DVD combo pack to boot. So yeah, the film is from 1986, the year I was born. It's directed by Jeffrey Dellman. And it stars Scott Valentine, Melissa Leo, and there's also a segment. The second segment stars Matt Mittler, who you guys might be familiar with from the Mutilator. He was the main boy and the main boyfriend in that movie, where they go to his father's, the one who shot his father, and they go to his beachside house. So, anyway, the movie is, well, I guess I'll read you the synopsis. It says, your favorite nightmares come to life in a salute to the age-old bedtime story ritual. Travel on a mysterious journey to a medieval world populated by blood-crazed witches, evil experiments, and captive maidens. Then, from the catacombs and dark caverns of medieval Europe, you'll plunge into the modern suburbia and the adventures of a female jogger stalked by a savage werewolf, played by Matt Mittler. Finally, sensuality will become macabre black comedy as you follow the trail of three bank robbers who share their country house hideaway with a sweet murderess. It's like a play on the Three Little Pigs, that one. So the film, you have your standard anthology form. You have your wraparound story. You've got a little kid. I forget his name now, but he's staying with his Uncle Mike. And he wants Uncle Mike to tell him stories before he goes to put him to bed at night. And so Uncle Mike tells him one story about witches in the woods. He tells him another story about the big bad wolf. And then a third story about the Three Little Pigs. And they're all horror renditions, basically like horror, nightmare, fairy tale renditions of the classic stories. So the film is fun. I enjoy it. I mean, I go back with it for a while, ever since I saw it when I was in college. I had picked up the Synergy version. I had it, a buddy of mine in college burned me like a DVD-R rip of a bunch of movies. Spider Labyrinth was on there, a couple others, and so I always kind of remembered that. Then I ended up purchasing, it stuck out to me, so I purchased the Synergy release, which was, you know, it was better than nothing for sure. So I had that for years, and it was always kind of a movie for me, like a third or fourth tier film that I wanted to see get a Blu-ray release, but wasn't like dying to. But I am really, really happy that it ended up getting one. So the film itself isn't the greatest. The stories, I really don't like the third story. I think it's annoying. It just, the actors in that story are just, it's just horrendous, the acting. It just bothers me. So it's hard to get through, because I like the story of the Three Little Pigs. Throw on a horror version, and it would be great, you'd think, but it just was annoying to me. I've heard some people say that they like it, though. So it's about it's about a family of mental escape patients. They break free out of their mental institute. They get picked up by the crazy mom, and they run into Goldilocks. So it fuses both stories. I think it's Goldilocks and the Three Little Pigs blended, like two, you know what I mean? And they meet up in this house, and they basically just chaos ensues. We'll put it that way. Like a showdown between the cops and the families. So, but just really, really, really quirky, and the acting was bad, and it wasn't enjoyable. I really like the second story, though. It's probably my favorite for sure. It's a play on the Big Bad Wolf. You have Matt Mittler, and I like the rendition of it. They incorporate this, like he's like a werewolf, and he needs to take his pills, and when he takes his pills, they kind of subdue, like, basically the pills help him to subdue his inner werewolf, and because he can't get them, so the story is the girl, I forget her name now, accidentally picks up his prescription going there for her grandmother. She picks his prescription up at the drugstore, and so when he gets home and realizes that he doesn't have his prescription. He goes nuts and he tries to find her, track her down so he can get it. So he doesn't, but we'll leave it at that. And then the first story is pretty decent as well. It's basically just about these two witches out in the woods, and they have this like male slave, young handsome male slave, and they have him basically do their dirty work for them so they can, I forget what they want to do. They want to summon something, or yeah, one of their third sister. They want to bring her back to life, and in order to do that, they need to get like I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. They need to get other women, like the beauty, and it's a very traditional story to resurrect their dead sister. And so yeah, overall it's an enjoyable little anthology with a good wraparound. I love like the little kids being babysat by his uncle, and he wants them to tell him stories, and each one, you know, it would be great if they were like one got better than the next, but it wasn't really like that. And then I feel like, I forget how the story ends exactly off the top of my head, but I mean, I guess it was passable, the wraparound itself. It wasn't terrible. But yeah, so I mean, if you're interested in anthology films, and it's definitely one that's kind of under the radar, not as well known as some of the bigger ones, like Trick or Treat or Creep Show and stuff like that. It's definitely a lesser known anthology. It's good though. It follows that traditional structure, which I like. So overall, I'd say 2 out of 3 of the stories are good, one being great. I mean, I really like the second story. And then the stories, the music's great, the theme song. If you go out, remember our dead time tales as kids. Something like that. It's really catchy though. I mean, I can't sing, but check it out for the music. The acting is good for the most part, with the exception of the third short. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Scream Factory put out a good release, so if you want to watch it, now is the better time than ever. There's your little kid on the back too, I forget his name, little Mikey. Mikey's the uncle that's babysitting, but Billy maybe? No. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys next week. We're going to be doing Shot on Video Week, so I'll see you then. Peace! And thank you for watching Body Bags with Horror Lies. Is this thing still on? Fuck!